welcome you here today. Students, staff, and representatives from American Legion Post 1111, plus a special welcome to our honored veterans. This is a momentous occasion to gather on the 11th day of the 11th month of the year 2011. It's also the first time that we, Jefferson Academy, have gathered in a school-wide K-12 assembly. So students, thank you for showing respect during this morning's program. This Veterans Day marks the 10th anniversary of the World Trade Center attacks and the start of the war in Afghanistan, along with the 70th anniversary of Pearl Harbor. Now, while there's nothing mystical about 11-11-11, what's truly heroic are the sacrifices of the United States servicemen and women, representatives seated with us today. People such as your great-grandpa, your aunt, your mom, your dad. It's our goal today to make their sacrifice and dedication more real to students by honoring members of the U.S. Air Force, Army, Coast Guard, Navy, and Marines. As a teacher, I would invite my dad every Veterans Day to visit my classroom. Dad was a gunnery officer in the Navy during World War II, so he brought in pictures of his aircraft carrier, the Wasp, and shared stories about his training and some details about the conflict, along with what they ate during their extended tours at sea. Kids in my class were always curious about that. Afterwards, he appreciated the handwritten notes and pictures from my students. I found a collection of those thank yous with his papers that I went through after his death in 2009. Students, please remember that the contributions of our veterans extend beyond the limits of commemorative newspapers, black and white photos, advertisements for special sales at hardware stores, and TV news specials that may highlight wars from 1941 through 2001. Honored veterans, welcome to Jefferson Academy. This program is dedicated to you and your comrades. Thank you for your service.
Right shoulder, arms. Right, haste. Forward, hard.
United States of America and to the republic distinguished people that have served both now and in the past to protect our freedoms. The ones that we enjoy, where we can assemble in a gymnasium like this, free. And thank you to all of you and all those all over the world today that are protecting our freedoms to do this. I wanted to bring a little perspective to this day because we talk about veterans in a very generic term. But each of them are people. Each of them has a story. And each of them had to make a decision to serve in the armed forces. And that, and many of them started with you high school people, about your age, 16, 17, 18 years of age. And some of our veterans here probably made those decisions and may have even lied to the draft board about their age. But I did want to highlight a particular veteran and invite his grandson down. Some of you have seen Don Schaefer out in front of our school. Morning after morning, he's directing traffic, has a cup of coffee. He wrote something as a reflection on that time when he was 16, 17, 18 years of age. And I'm going to have you all read it.
The poem my grandfather wrote was entitled 1 Year. It says, when I was 17, I worried about learning enough to pass final exams. Would I have enough gas for my car? Friends going their own ways after graduation. Having a date on Friday night. Losing my girlfriend. When I was 18, I worried about learning enough to survive a war, not pass an exam. Having enough ammunition for my rifle rather than gas for my car. My friends being killed rather than going their own ways. And being point man on a Friday night ambush rather than a date. And losing my life instead of a girlfriend. Sergeant Donald Lewis Schaefer, please stand at this time to be recognized for writing this one.
Don's story is just a microcosm of many of the stories that each of these people can and will share during the course of their lifetime. I do want to take this time right now to honor and introduce our distinguished members of the American Legion Post 11-11, 1111. Tim Shank, please rise. Wayne Newman. John Baker. Atlantis O'Neill. Chris Flygard. Ken Thomas. Stephen Lee. Wayne Williams. And Larry Starley. Thank you, gentlemen, for your service as well. Tim, or as he's called Pappy, is the commander of Post 1111, and they're going to do something that's very special and I've never seen before. So welcome, Tim.
Good morning. Can you hear me? My name's Tim Shank. Most people call me Pappy, and I'm a veteran. Thank you for letting American Legion Post 1111 participate in your Veterans Day celebration. We're here today to give thanks and honor our brothers and sisters and our comrades in arms. This morning we would like to honor those who have served our great country with our prisoner of war missing in action ceremony. It's not often that we get to perform for such a bunch of fine young Americans like you are. I hope you enjoy our presentation. I know that we're going to enjoy giving it. Honor guard, prepare the ceremony. This time I'd like to introduce John Baker, our adjutant.
As you entered this room today, you may have noticed a small table in the place of honor. It is a table for one. This table is our way of symbolizing the fact that members of our profession of arms are missing from our midst. They are commonly called POWs or MAIs. We call them brothers. They are unable to be with us this day, so we remember them. This table, for one, is small, symbolizing the frailty of one prisoner alone against his oppressors. Remember. The tablecloth is white, symbolizing the purity of their intentions to respond to their country's call to arms. Remember. The single red rose displayed in a vase reminds us of the families and loved ones of our comrades in arms who keep the faith, awaiting their return. Remember. The red ribbon, tied so prominently on the vase, is reminiscent of the red ribbon worn upon the lapel and breasts of thousands who bear witness to their unyielding determination to demand a proper accounting of our mission. Remember. The candle. The candle is lit, symbolizing the upward reach of their unconquerable spirit. Remember. A slice of lemon is on the bread plate to remind us of their bitter fate. Remember. There is salt upon the bread plate, symbolic of the family's tears as they wait. Remember. The glass is inverted. They cannot be with us this day. Remember. The chair. The chair is empty. They are not here. Remember. Remember all of you who served with them and called them comrades, who depended upon their might and their aid and relied upon them, for surely they have not forsaken you. Remember. Remember until the day they come home. Remember.
Honor guard, hand salute. 2. At this time, I'd like to introduce our Vice Commander, Wayne Newman. He's also our road guard for the Patriot Guard Riders.
Thank you, Commander, and hello. Good morning, everybody. As Tim mentioned, I am a member of the Patriot Guard Riders. For those of you who don't know who we are, we're the ones that stand a flag line between any protesters and the funeral at military funerals. That is what we do. Most of us ride motorcycles, but we're not a motorcycle club, we're just an organization. Many times, veterans have been given, there's a different definition for veterans. I have one that I think is the most appropriate I've ever heard, and this is the one we use at some of our ceremonies. A veteran, whether active duty, retired, National Guard or Reserve, is someone whom at one point in their life wrote a check made payable to the United States of America for an amount of and up to, including my life. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time we're going to hand out thank you pins to our veterans. Over here, my fellow vets, if you are a Vietnam veteran, please indicate that when we come up, because you never got your welcome home. Our pin is replica of the Vietnam Veterans ribbon, and on that ribbon it says, "It's never too late. Welcome home."
A very special thank you to the veterans here today.